I'm not sure why, but this story really piqued my interest. Maybe it's the memory of watching the cartoon as a child, or the hope that if this fairy tale is true, others could be too. This then opening the door to the existence of magical creatures. Creatures that today are known as cryptids, maybe. In this video, let's take a look at a gravestone of an 18th century German aristocrat who suffered at the hands of an evil stepmother and is believed to have inspired the fairy tale, and ask, was this the real Snow White? Let's take a look. Welcome to IF, videos on history and mystery. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again. The story unfolds with one Maria Sophia von Erthal, whose life mirrors, pun intended, the fairy tale of Snow White. Snow White is probably one of the most famous stories penned by the Brothers Grimm, and they knew of Maria and her life and her tragic story. This history was long forgotten, but has once again been brought to the forefront of people's minds after the discovery of Maria Sophia's burial plaque. The plaque was found by curators of a German museum, and they showed the grave marker along with sharing the story of the 18th century German aristocrat who suffered at the hands of an evil stepmother and is believed to have inspired the fairy tale Snow White. The gravestone had been missing since the church in which Maria was originally laid to rest was demolished in 1804. Fortunately for the museum, the marker was found in a Bavarian house, and the family who found it chose to donate it to the Museum of Diocesan. The museum quickly capitalized on the popularity of the story from the Brothers Grimm and displayed the marker along with the real-life tale that inspired a story of an evil stepmother, dwarves, and the hero, Prince Charming. The director of the museum, Holger Kempkens, told of how the Grimms must have been inspired from hearing the stories about von Erthal, which they then reworked into the nucleus for their fairy tale. The museum director went on to say, the story of Sophia's life was well known at the start of the 19th century. There are indications, though we cannot prove it for sure, that Sophia was the model for Snow White. Von Erthal grew up in a castle in Lohr am Main, about 60 miles west of Bamberg in North Bavaria, and died in 1796. As a young girl, she was described in the family's chronicles as a girl of unusual loveliness. She was kind and was keen to help the poor and needy, but life would change for Maria when she was in her teens. Her mother passed away and her father remarried a markedly domineering widow from a powerful local family. The stepmother did her best to exclude her stepdaughter from the family and instead favored her own children. Unlike the fairy tale, in real life the evil stepmother appears to have succeeded, with Maria never finding a husband and moving to a house of an English spinster some 60 miles away, where she then went blind and died alone at the age of 71 in 1796. All the family money and influence being passed on to the children of the scheming stepmother. Other parts of her life contributed to the Brothers Grimm tale. Local historian Dr. Karl-Heinz Bartels came up with several parallels between Snow White and the historical figure of Maria Sophia von Erthal. Sophia's father remarried, and her stepmother had a reputation for being domineering and favoring her natural-born children. Lohr was known as a center for glassware, and Sophia's family owned a mirror factory. A terrifying forest is matured in the fairy tale, while the forests around Lohr were notorious for their robbers. Dwarves and children did historically work in local mines, as they could squeeze through small gaps. So it seemed, as is often the case with tall tales and local legends, there is often a grain of truth which storytellers use to cultivate and grow a story. Could this be the case with some of the other fairy tales that are so popular? Could this mean that some of the monsters found in these stories could be real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.